Hello. It's very hard to tell when this actually comes on, so for all I know I'm just in here talking to myself. I'm going to wait until it stops spinning and then I'll know that it's actually on. It's still spinning. Hello! I think it's definitely live now. Hope everyone's okay. I hope you've all managed to enjoy the sunshine a little bit. We're going to be working on hip mobility today. So I would recommend you get a blanket or a pillow or even just the yoga mat just to put underneath your knee for a little bit of support when we come into these lunge positions. If you're on a carpet, it's probably fine anyway, just in case you want something to kneel on. We're also going to start seated, so if you want something to sit on like a cushion or a blanket or yoga blocks or big books or the couch or bed, then help yourselves to something to sit on. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. So if you've only just put it on, grab a pillow or something to sit on just whilst we get started, because we're going to start sat down. If you're already here, just get yourselves nice and comfy, sat down, either across the legs or sitting on the knees, whichever feels best for you. Or you can always come and lay on your back if you'd rather do that instead of seated. I'll just wait a couple of minutes. I'll wait until the number stops going up. So if you've only just put it on, grab a pillow or something to sit on, and also something that you might want to put underneath your knee when we come to do some lunges. We'll start in about 30 seconds. So get yourselves in a nice comfortable seated position. You can either sit with your legs crossed or you can come and sit on your knees. If you'd rather lay down, you can always lay down on your back. I think that's probably everyone. So we'll start by shrugging the shoulders up to the ears. So bring the shoulders up nice and high and then send them down and back. We'll do that a couple more times. So bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, send them all the way down and back. We'll do that one more time. Take a big inhale, shrug the shoulders up to the ears. And as you exhale, send them all the way down and back. And just find some stillness in this position. So start to find some length in the spine. Start to send the crown of the head up towards the sky. Sit up nice and tall. Allow the shoulders to feel heavy. So you're trying to send the shoulders down and back, moving the shoulders away from the ears. Let your hands be heavy wherever they are. So the hands can stay on the knees. The hands can come to the heart center. If you haven't already, just start to close the eyes. Soften the face, so soften the forehead, relax the little muscles in between the eyebrows, and soften your jaw, so just let the jaw feel heavy, maybe the mouth open slightly. And just start to give yourself a quick body scan, so all the way from the crown of the head through to the tips of the toes. Just start to notice how your body is feeling, so noticing anywhere that feels a little bit tight. See if you can bring any softness to those areas, especially into the shoulders. And then we'll just start to bring the attention inwards. So start to notice the breath. Just start to notice how the breath moves around the body. Try not to change it, just noticing the inhales and the exhales and the length of the inhales, the length of the exhales. Maybe noticing whereabouts you can feel the breath moving around the body, so whether it's in the nose, the chest, the throat, the belly. Maybe your shoulders slightly rise with your inhales and soften back down on the exhales. your own time, we'll start to lengthen the breath. So with every inhale, start to draw in a little bit more air. So fill up the belly, fill up the lungs. And with every exhale, just letting it all go. The exhales want to be slightly longer than the inhales. So try and keep your attention on your breath as you lengthen your breath. Just notice how it feels. Notice whereabouts in your body you can feel the movement. So with your inhale, notice where you can feel that inhale. So whether it's into the belly, maybe it's in the chest, in the throat, maybe the shoulders rise. And notice where you can feel the exhale. So maybe you can feel that softness coming into the shoulders, maybe it's in the throat, in the face. And just stay here with that deep breath. Trying to keep our attention focused on the body, on the breath, right here, right now. We'll take about 5 more breaths like this. So just stick with that slow rhythm of breath. Notice whether you started to clench your jaw again. See if you can soften the jaw, soften the mouth. Maybe softening the forehead again. And just notice whether you started to slouch down into your lower back. If you have, see if you can sit up a little bit taller. So lengthen the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. With every exhale, see if you can start to engage your abdominal core. So start to pull the belly button backwards towards the spine. This will start to turn on those abdominal muscles. We'll take 2 more big breaths. On your next exhale, just slowly blink the eyes open. Bring the right fingertips down to the right side of the mat and reach the left hand up as high as you can get it. Take an inhale, reach that left hand up even higher. And as you exhale, to start to walk the right fingertips away, bring the right forearm down towards the mat. Keep pressing both sit bones down into the mat, so keep pressing your left butt cheek down as you bring your left arm up. Think about opening up the left chest towards the ceiling. So you're trying to send that left shoulder backwards. Take 1 more big inhale. And as you exhale, come all the way back through center. This time bring the left fingertips down towards the mat. Take an inhale, lift the right hand up high. Inhale, reach it up even higher. And as you exhale, start to walk the left hand down towards the side, reaching the right arm up and over. You can stay flat on that left hand or come down onto the forearms. Make sure that that right butt cheek is still pressing down into the mat. Think about sending that right shoulder backwards. So you're trying to open up the chest towards the ceiling rather than folding forwards. We're trying to open up the chest. Try and keep that right arm as straight as you can. It's quite easy to let that arm bend, but really activate the arm, spread the fingertips wide. Take 1 more big inhale. And exhale, come all the way back up through to the center. So you can either stay here in this cross legs position, just exactly as you are, or we're going to start to fold forwards over the legs with the legs crossed. This can be quite an intense stretch for some people, others will find it completely easy. So whatever you're working with, you can either stay here, or just start to walk the hands forwards over the legs. So you're trying to bring your chest down towards the mat. Stay connected with that deep breath, so try not to lose that long breath. We'll take 2 more breaths like this. Big inhales in through the nose. And big exhales back out through the nose. Slowly walk the hands back towards the legs. So in this cross legs position, we're going to swap legs. So the other leg comes on top or in front. It'll feel a little bit weird. We're going to do exactly the same thing. So with an inhale, sit up nice and tall. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to start to walk the hands forwards in front of your legs. So either bringing the hands down, the forearms down, or maybe bringing your chest down towards the mat. You should be able to feel this stretch in the hips. Slowing the breath down again. Big inhales in through the nose. And big exhales back out. Slowly start to walk the hands back towards the legs. Use your hands to lift your knees up, And then just place both soles of the feet flat in front, so your knees are bent. There's 3 options for this next one. We're going to start to get into some hip mobility. So option 1 is to stay sat up straight and keep the hands at the heart centre or out to the side. That's harder. Second option is to just place the fingertips behind you to give you a little bit of support. Third option is to lean back a little bit more and place your hands flat on the mat to support your back. So wherever you are, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to drop both knees over to the left-hand side. So both knees are coming down towards the mat. Bring the knees back up to the centre. And then exhale, take the knees all the way back down to the right. So just keep windmilling the knees from left to right in your own time. Make sure that both knees are tapping down to the mat. So just keep working with this movement and check that both knees are coming down. You don't want to let the legs stack like this. If the legs are stacking, just make the feet a little bit wider so there's enough space for the knees to come to each side. So stay here with your breath. With every inhale, you're lifting up the legs. And with every exhale, take them all the way down to the side. We'll stay here for another 3, maybe speeding it up a little bit. 2 and 1. The next time the legs come over to the right side, keep them here. So your legs want to be in this 90-90 position. So the right shin and the left thigh are in line, and the right ankle is in line with the right knee. Left ankle is in line with the left knee. So there's kind of this rectangle shape in between your right shin and your left thigh. We're going to twist our chest over the right thigh, lots of lefts and rights. Sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, to start to fold forwards over that right leg. So you should be able to feel this stretch into the hip. If you can't feel it here, maybe just walk your chest over to the left a little bit more and have a play around with whereabouts you can feel this stretch. If you're really struggling to feel anything, maybe just shuffle that right heel a little bit further forwards, and that should intensify that stretch in the hips. So have a play around with your positioning in this one. Wherever you are tighter, that's where you'll feel it. So it's very unlikely that people will feel it in the same place for this one. See if you can slow the breath down again. Big inhales in through the nose and big exhales back out. Slowly start to make your way back through to the centre. This time we're going to take the knees over to the left. So bring both knees up and then drop both knees down to the left. Just check that alignment. So your left shin is in line with your right thigh. Your left heel is in line with your left knee. And your right heel is in line with your right knee. So the legs are both at a 90-degree angle, and you've got that rectangle shape in between both legs. With an inhale, sit up nice and tall and just twist the chest over that left leg. With an exhale, start to walk the fingertips over that left thigh. So you're trying to bring the chest down towards the thigh. You can stay here, or you can start to walk over a little bit more towards the right, maybe bringing that stretch into a different area of the hip. Again, just have a play around with it. Notice where you can feel the stretch the most. Maybe even just sitting upright is enough of a stretch. Maybe you can't feel anything. You might just want to shuffle that left foot a little bit further forwards to make it a little bit more intense. See if you can breathe into it. So with every inhale, lengthening the spine. With every exhale, just see if you can soften into the stretch a little bit more. Keep the breath nice and long. Slowly make your way back up through to the centre. Bring both knees back up to the centre so the feet are flat onto the mat. We're going to lower down from here onto our backs, one vertebrae at a time. So we're going to start to get into the abdominal muscles. So place the hands alongside the legs, lowering down onto the lower back first, and then the middle back, and then the top of the back, and then the shoulders, and then the head. When you get to the floor, just hook both knees into the chest. Hooking the hands around the shins, give yourself a little hug. And start to rock from side to side, pressing the lower back into the mat. Just massaging the spine into the mat or the floor, whatever you're using. Keep the knees where they are. Take the hands off the legs and then bring the hands out alongside the legs. We're going to start to peel the lower back off the mat. So your knees are going to come as close towards your chest as you can get them. They probably won't move very much, but you should be able to start to feel that abdominal core start to turn on. From here, keep pressing the lower back down into the mat and start to extend the legs out long. So stop when you feel the lower back peeling off the mat. That might be here with the knees bent. If you can still press the lower back, maybe you start to extend the legs. And then with an inhale, bring the knees all the way back into the chest. Peel the lower back off the mat. And with an exhale, start to extend the legs back out long. Again, pressing that lower back down into the mat. Inhale, bring the knees into the chest. And exhale, start to extend the legs out long. If it's too intense doing this with both legs, you can always do one leg at a time. So you extend the right leg first, bring it back in, lift up the bum, and then extend the left leg. So just keep working with this in your own time. With every inhale, draw the knees into the chest. Lift the lower back up a tiny bit, trying to get the knees to the chest, and with your exhale, start to extend either both legs or one leg out long. We'll stay here for another 10, so keep breathing. 9. Really work with your breath. 8. 7. Try not to speed it up. 6. 5. Try not to hold the breath. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring the knees into the chest. Keep hold of the right leg and extend the left leg out long. Place the left heel down onto the mat and interlace the fingers around the right leg. We're going to make our way from here into an upright position. So start to peel your head and your shoulders off the mat. So you're bringing your chest up towards that right leg. If you want to make this harder, hover that left heel off the mat. We're going to use the strengthening abdominal muscles to bring us up to a seated position. Try and keep that left leg hovered if you can. We're going to hold it here for 3. Keep lifting up the chest. 2. And 1. Place both feet flat onto the mat. Cross the right leg over the left leg. And then pull the right heel as close towards your left butt cheek as you can. Keep drawing the knee in towards the chest, and you should be able to feel this stretch down the right side of the hip. So your left hand can either catch hold of that right knee, or if you want a little bit more, inhale to lift up the left arm. And as you exhale, bend the left elbow and then cross the left elbow over that right knee. Then use the force of that left hand or that left elbow to twist your right shoulder backwards. Right fingertips can either come down onto the mat behind you, or you can bring the hands to the heart center, or you can interlace the hands like this. If you want a little bit more still, you can always bend that left leg as well, but make sure that both sit bones are pressing down into the mat. So you should be able to feel this stretch on the right side of the thigh, maybe into the hip, and also maybe a little bit of sensation in the spine as well if we're twisting that right shoulder backwards. So find your breath again. Big inhale to sit up nice and tall. And exhale, see if you can twist over that right shoulder a little bit more. We'll do one more big breath. And exhale, come all the way back through to center. If you had that left leg bent, just straighten that left leg out now. Uncross the legs, bring the right knee into the chest. We're going to go down the way we came up. So hug the right knee into the chest. Lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. The lower back meets, then the middle back, then the shoulders, and then the head. Bring the left knee into the chest. This time extend the right leg out long. So we've got the same thing on the other side. Option 1 is to keep that right heel down. Option 2, hover the right heel and inch off the mat. Interlace the hands alongside that left shin, and then start to peel your head and your shoulders off the mat. So you're trying to draw your chest up towards that left knee. Using the strength of your abdominal muscles, see if you can come up into that seated position. Hovering the right heel if you can, holding it here for 3. Keep pulling the knee into the chest. 2. And 1. Bring both feet flat down to the mat. The left leg is going to cross over that right thigh, and then pull the left heel as close towards your right sit bone as you can. At the same time, draw your knee in towards your chest. If you want a little bit more, cross the right knee, so bend the right knee, but just make sure that that left sit bone meets the mat. So options with the hands. Option 1, you can just stay here with the hands on the knee. Option 2, reach the right hand up, and as you exhale, cross the right elbow over the left thigh. Either bringing the hands together at the heart center, interlacing the fingers, or you can bring the left fingertips just behind you, so they're just brushing the floor behind. Keep that length in the spine, so keep sitting up nice and tall. Crown of the head is moving up towards the ceiling. And find the breath. So with every inhale, see if you can sit up even taller. With every exhale, see if you can twist over that left shoulder a little bit more. If you can't feel this in that left side of the hip, keep pulling that right heel as close towards that left Keep pulling the left heel as close towards your right sitting bone as you can. We'll stay here for one more big inhale. And exhale, release. If you had that right leg bent, just straighten that right leg out. Uncross the left leg. Hug the left knee into the chest. We're going to go back down one last time. So going back down the way we came up, the lower back meets the mat first, and then the middle, and then the shoulders, and then the head. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug. From here, we're going to rock up into a tabletop position. So it's up to you whether you want to use your hands and your knees to get there, or come with me rocking forwards and backwards on the spine, using that momentum to eventually bring us up onto all fours. So find your stable tabletop position. The hands are underneath the shoulders, the knees are as wide as the hips. With an inhale, extend that right leg out long. Bring the right leg all the way over to the left, so the right toes are tapping down onto the left side of the mat. Bring both knees down towards the mat, push the bum backwards, and then bring your chest down towards the mat. So we're finding this similar position to child's pose, but it's going to get more into that left hip. So try and let your chest melt down towards the mat. If you're finding your head doesn't quite meet the mat, you can always cross your hands and just let your head relax onto the forearms. We're going to stay here for about 3 more breaths. So 3 big inhales in through the nose, and back out through the nose. If you're feeling warm, with your exhale, sigh out the mouth. This can make us feel a little bit cooler. Slowly start to walk your hands back into that tabletop position. Uncross the right leg, and then bring the right knee all the way in towards the right elbow. I'm just going to spin around so you can see me. So the right knee is coming towards the right elbow. Flex the right foot. We're going to extend that right leg up. So the right sole of the foot is facing towards the ceiling. Bring the right knee out to the side, like a dog doing a wee, and then try and draw that right knee in towards the right elbow. We'll take it the other way this time. So we start by taking the right knee out towards the side. Rotate the leg so the right sole of the foot is facing up towards the sky, and then sweep that right knee in towards the elbow. 3 more like that. So we start by extending the leg up, bringing it out to the side. It taps that right elbow, and then take it straight out to the side. The sole of the foot faces upwards, and then sweep it in towards the elbow. 2 more like that. So taking it all the way up, taking it out to the side. It taps the elbow. Last time, take it out to the side. Taking it all the way up, and then sweep that right knee in towards the elbow. Bring the right knee flat down onto the mat. This time extend the left leg out long. Cross the left leg over the right so the left toes are coming down towards the mat. Drop both knees down. Send the hips up and back and start to walk your hands forward down onto the mat. Start to bring your chest down to the mat. Slowing the breath down here. Big inhales in through the nose. Sighing it out if you're warm, or just stick to that breathing in and out the nose. Slowly start to bring your hands underneath the shoulders, uncross the legs. So we've got the same thing on the other side. So bring your left knee towards your left elbow. We'll start by extending that left leg up towards the ceiling, so keep that left foot flexed. We're then going to take the left leg out to the side, bend the left knee, sweep the left knee round to tap the left elbow, and then send it all the way back up to the side, up to the ceiling, and then sweep it through towards the elbow. 3 more like that. Extend the leg back. Take it out to the side. The knee taps the elbow. Then we take it back to the side, taking it all the way up, and then sweep the knee towards the elbow. Last round, take the leg all the way up, bringing it out to the side. The knee taps the elbow. Finish by taking it back out to the side, all the way up, and then sweeping it through to tap the elbow one last time. Bring both knees down towards the mat, take the knees out wide, bring the feet together, and just let the chest come down to the mat into a child's pose. So if your head doesn't quite meet the mat, you can always cross the hands and just let your head relax onto the forearms. Slow the breath down here. Big inhales in through the nose. And big exhales back out the nose or out through the mouth. Slowly start to make your way back up into a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under, send the hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. So the hands are as wide as the shoulders and the feet are as wide as the hips. For this first one, you might just want to take a couple of movements, pedaling the legs, moving from side to side, just waking up the body. And when you're ready, start to find some stillness. So you're trying to send the heels down towards the mat, but don't let the back round. If you feel like your back is quite rounded, just bend your knees a little bit. It's fine if the heels come up off the mat. Let your head be heavy. Give the head a little shake, a little nod. And then we're going to start to walk the hands back towards the feet at the back of the mat. The feet are as wide as the hips. Just bring the hands up towards the shins. Take a halfway lift. So in your halfway lift position, the chest is parallel with the mat. Pull the belly button back to engage the core and just have a slight micro bend in the knees. With an inhale, bring the hands up and overhead. As you exhale, take the hands all the way back. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, bring the hands up and overhead. Exhale, take them all the way back. Last time, hands come up overhead. Exhale, take them all the way back. Bend the knees, place the hands flat onto the mat and walk forwards into a high plank position. We're going to hold it here in our high plank position for about 30 seconds. So squeeze your bum, push back through the heels, spread the shoulders wide and try and dome the body. So you're pulling the belly button back towards the spine so much and trying to round between the top of the back. If your lower back is arching down towards the mat, just drop the knees down to give your lower back a little bit of support. But keep that core engagement so the belly button pulls back towards the spine. Keep breathing. We'll hold it here for another 10, 9, 8, 7. Don't let your head drop down. 6. Keep looking out in front of the hands. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down onto the mat. Walk down onto your forearms. And then drop the hips and the chest down towards the mat. Take an inhale, lift the chest up. So pull the arms in towards the chest to keep the chest lifted. The shoulders are moving away from the ears. Squeeze the bum and press the backs of the feet in towards the mat. Take one more big inhale here. As you exhale, bring the chest back down towards the mat. The hands come underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Lift the thighs. Keep squeezing your bum. Screw the elbows in. Press up into a plank position and send the hips up into your downward facing dog. Take about 5 breaths here. So let the head be heavy, shoulders move away from the ears. Hands are spread wide, try not to grip the mat, spread the fingers out wide. Take 2 more big breaths like this, in through the nose. And back out through the nose or through the mouth. Looking in between your hands, bend your knees. Tiptoe, step or walk or hop both feet in between the hands at the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway like we did earlier on. As you exhale, you can either forward fold by bringing the fingertips down towards the mat or take the hands backwards. Micro bend the knees, take an inhale, lift the hands all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, bring the hands towards the heart center. Inhale, lift the hands all the way up. As you exhale, forward fold, either bring the fingertips down towards the feet, the shins, or take the hands backwards. Inhale, halfway lift, coming onto fingertips, shins, or thighs. The chest is parallel with the mat. Exhale, place both hands down onto the mat and step back with the right leg. So you're taking a long lunge back with that right leg and drop the right knee down. This is where you might want a pillow or something underneath that right leg. With an inhale, lift the hands all the way up. We're going to hold it here. So think about squeezing your bum. Pull the belly button back towards the spine. Try not to collapse into the lower back. So if you feel like you're sinking forward like this, pull everything back really tight. Squeeze the right glute in particular. The hands are up high, but keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears. If the shoulders are coming up quite high, just open the arms a little bit more. You want to be able to feel this stretch in that right hip flexor at the front of the right leg. So you might just need to shuffle your weight forwards a little bit more, but keep that core activation. Take an inhale, reach the hands up higher. As you exhale, windmill the right hand forward, left hand back. So you're twisting over that left leg. Keep the left knee bent. We inhale to come all the way back up through center. Exhale to twist to face the opposite direction. Right hand back, left hand forward. Inhale, bring both hands up towards the center. This time as you exhale, bring the right hand down towards the mat and keep the left arm lifted. You're going to press into the right hand on the floor and reach the left hand up a little bit more. So take your gaze up towards that left hand. If this is too much with the right hand on the floor, you can always bring your right hand onto your hip instead. So keep trying to open up your chest towards the ceiling. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, bend the right leg and then catch hold of the right leg with the left arm. So you're coming into this twisted lizard position. Another option, if you can't quite catch that leg, is to do it the other way around, so the right hand catches hold of that right foot. Another option is to do this standing. So if you're coming to standing, find your balance, either holding onto a wall and then catch that right foot behind. So you want to feel this stretch down the front of that right leg. Wherever you are, we're going to hold it for another 5 breaths. So really slow the breath down. Keep your glutes squeezed, particularly the right glute. If you've got hold of that foot with the left arm, try not to lean forwards, keep opening up the left shoulder towards the ceiling. We'll hold it here for another 2. And 1. Slowly release that right foot down towards the mat. Shuffle the left foot in to the centre of the mat. Place both hands alongside that left foot. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee off the mat. Take a big step to bring the right foot to meet the left foot at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come to the heart centre. We've got 1 more like that. Inhale, reach up the hands. Exhale, bring the fingertips down towards the mat or the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place both hands down onto the mat and step back with the left leg. Drop the left knee down. Inhale to lift the hands all the way up. So again, if you need that blanket underneath the left knee, then just pop it there now. Squeeze the bum. Send the hips forward, so let the sit bones tuck under. Try not to let your bum flare backward. Pull everything in tight. The arms are up overhead, but pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Spread the hands out wide. If you can't feel this in that left hip flexor, shuffle the right foot forward a little bit. Just take a little bit more weight in that right leg. Take an inhale, reach the hands up high. As you exhale, take the right hand back, left hand forward, twisting over that right leg. Don't worry if you've gone the other way, because we're going to go the other way now anyway. Take an inhale, lift up the hands. Exhale, bring the right hand forward, left hand comes back. Keep spreading the fingertips wide. Take your gaze over that back hand. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up. As you exhale, left hand comes flat down onto the mat and reach the right arm up towards the sky. If it's too much with that left hand down, just place the left hand onto the hip and keep reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling. Keep your gaze on that right hand. Option 1, stay exactly as you are. Option 2, bend the left knee, catch hold of the left foot with the right hand coming into twisted lizard. Alternative option, left hand, left foot. Last option, come up to standing, find your balance and then catch hold of the left foot with the left hand. Wherever you are, we'll hold it for 5 breaths. So slow the breath down again. Keep pulling that belly button back towards the spine, keep the core turned on. If you've got hold of that left foot, try not to let the right shoulder sink forward. Keep opening up the chest towards the ceiling. We'll hold it here for another 2 breaths. Big inhales in through the nose. Big exhales back out. Last breath, inhale in. And as you exhale, slowly release that left foot down towards the mat. We're all going to meet in this lunge position. So shuffle the right foot in towards the center of the mat. Both hands come alongside that right foot. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee off the mat with a big step. Left foot meets the right foot, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, bring the hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. Inhale, lift up the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant both hands flat onto the mat. Step or jump back to a plank position. So we're in this high plank position. Option 1, move straight into a child's pose. Option 2, move straight into a downward dog. Option 3, if you want to vinyasa, the hips and chest lower down to the mat at the same time. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up the chest. Keep the shoulders down. If it's too much on the hands, you can always do this on the forearms. Exhale, bring the chest down towards the mat. Tuck the toes. Screw the elbows in. Lift the thighs off the mat. Press up from here into your plank position. You can always keep the knees down if you need. And then send the hips up into a downward facing dog or take a child's pose. We'll take 3 big breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose or the mouth. Spreading the hands wide, let the head be heavy. If you were in your child's pose, make your way up into a downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift the right leg up as high as you can. So we're coming into this 3-legged dog. Bend the right knee, sweep the right knee as close towards your chest as you can. So bring the shoulders over the wrists, draw the right knee up towards your nose. Gently with control, drop the right foot down alongside the right hand at the front of the mat. So this might mean using your hand to step that right leg through. Drop the left heel down, so the left foot is coming to a 45-degree angle. Press into that right foot, bring the hands all the way up into a warrior 2. Shuffle the right foot across to the left so that the right heel is in line with the left toes. The arms are active out to a T. Check that the ankles are underneath the wrists. The hips and the chest are facing the front and your gaze just comes over that front arm. Bend into that right knee and try and send that right knee out towards the right without losing that alignment in the chest and the hips. Belly button pulls back towards the spine. Inhale, flip the right hand up towards the ceiling. Reach the right hand forward. And as you exhale, bring the right arm all the way up and overhead. Reverse the warrior. The left hand can stay on the hip. It can come onto the thigh. Or if you want a little bit more, you can take a bind by bringing the left hand behind your back. And we'll stay here for one more inhale. Exhale, come back into your warrior 2. Straighten the right leg. Turn the toes in slightly, straighten up those legs. Check that the feet are still as wide as the wrists, and then place the hands onto the hips. Take an inhale, stand up nice and tall. As you exhale, push the hips backwards, bring the fingertips down towards the mat. If your hands don't quite meet the mat, just bend the knees a little bit, or you can bring the hands onto the legs somewhere. You're aiming to bring the palms of the hands flat onto the mat. So this might mean bending your knees quite a lot. With an inhale, come up halfway, going up onto the fingertips, lengthen the chest. As you exhale, try and keep that nice length in the lower back as you lower the chest down a little bit more towards the legs. You should be able to feel this stretch in the hamstrings. If your hands are flat on the mat, think about pressing the mat away. So you're trying to push the mat away. This will help you deepen the stretch a little bit more. With every inhale, see if you can find length in the spine. With every exhale, see if you can move deeper into this stretch. We'll take one more big inhale in through the nose. One more big exhale. As you inhale, come up onto the fingertips, lengthen the chest. Exhale, place the hands onto the hips. Inhale, come all the way up to a standing position. Pivot on the feet so that you're coming back into a crescent lunge. The right leg is in front and the left leg is behind. We're going to bend into that right knee and then start to hover the left foot off the mat. Find your warrior 3. So activate the legs. Try and find your balance looking at something still. Have a play around with the arms. So either arms at the heart center, you can take them back, bring them up overhead, just anywhere that helps you balance here. Keep the hips square with the mat so the left hip doesn't want to rise up. Both hips are pointing down. Belly button pulls back towards the spine. Micro bend that right knee, and then slowly start to bring the left knee up towards the chest. Don't put that left foot down. Micro bend the right leg, and then cross the left leg over that right knee. Find your balance coming into this figure 4 stretch. So if you need to, find a wall or something to hold on to. If your balance is just not happening, you can always come and lay down on your back instead and take a figure 4 stretch laying down here. If you want to test your balance, maybe bring the hands up towards the ceiling. We'll hold it here for another 5. Find your breath. 4, see if you can sink a little bit lower into that right leg. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up through to standing. Don't put that left leg down yet. Squeeze the left knee up towards the chest. Send the left leg all the way back into your warrior 3. Micro bend the right leg. Drop the left toes down. Take an inhale, lift up the hands. And as you exhale, drop that left knee down onto the mat. Both hands are going to come down onto the mat on the inside of that right leg. We're going to come into lizard stretch, which is quite an intense stretch. So if it gets too much, just ease out of it a little bit. You're going to start by walking that right foot forwards. So deepen that stretch in between the legs. Make it a little bit of a wider stance. We're then going to start to walk the right foot to the outside edge of the mat. So walk the right foot all the way over to the right. This might be enough. If this is too much, just bring your hands up towards your hips. To make it a little bit more intense, you can start to drop down onto the forearms. This is where you might want a yoga brick or a block or books to place underneath the arms if you want something to rest on. Another option to make this even more intense is to tuck the left toes and then lift that left knee off the mat. Whichever variation you're going with, keep squeezing the glutes. This might mean that you can't go as deep because the muscles are active, but it's much better, your hips will thank you for it, if you can just squeeze the glutes and look after the hips. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths, so make sure that you're in a position that you're happy with. Keep breathing, big deep breaths in through the nose and back out through the nose. Try not to let the neck fall heavy. Keep looking out in front of your mat. So you're trying to look at the top of the mat. Take another 2 more breaths here. Big inhales in through the nose. And big exhales back out through the nose or out through the mouth. 1 last breath. We're going to start to make our way out of this pose. So the first thing that we do is shuffle the right foot back to the center of the mat. Bring both hands on the outside of the outside of the feet. Press into that right foot and then bring yourself to an upright position. If that left leg was lifted, keep it there. If not, tuck the left toes, place the hands onto the hips. See if you can find your balance as you lift that left leg off the mat. We're going to step the left leg to meet the right leg at the front of the mat. Keep the knees bent into chair pose. Reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the belly button back towards the spine, tuck the sit bones under. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. Take a big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the fingertips down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place both hands onto the mat. Step or jump back to a plank position. Option to move straight into a down dog or a child's pose. Or vinyasa, hips and chest lower down to the mat at the same time. Option to drop the knees or keep the knees off the mat. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift up the chest, either on the forearms or upward facing dog. Exhale, bring the chest down towards the mat. Tuck the toes under, lift the thighs, screw the elbows in, press up into your plank position, and then coming into a downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths here. The head is heavy. With an inhale, lift the left leg up high. If you're in your child's pose, just make your way into this 3-legged dog position. As you exhale, bend the left knee. Sweep the left knee up towards the chest. Get it as close towards your nose as you can. And then drop that left foot down alongside the left hand at the front of the mat. Maybe using that left hand to guide it through. Drop the right heel down. So the right heel is coming to a 45-degree angle. Push into that left leg. Opening up the arms into a warrior 2. So your left leg is in front. The right foot is at a 45-degree angle. and the left heel is in line with the right toes. So just shuffle that left heel across to the right a little bit. The arms are out to a T, and check that the feet are underneath the wrists. The arms are really active. Hips and chest are facing the front, and your gaze just comes over that left arm. Tuck the sit bones under, so don't let the bum flare back. You're pulling everything really tight. With an inhale, flip the left palm up towards the ceiling. Reach the left arm as far forward as you can, then bring the left arm up overhead, reverse the warrior. Right hand either on the thigh, on the hip, or bring it behind your back into the bind. We'll take one more inhale and exhale, coming into your warrior 2 position. Place the hands onto the hips. Pivot the legs to face the front, so you're in this crescent lunge position. The right leg is back, the left leg is in front. We're going to bend into that left leg. Start to hover the right toes off the mat. Find your warrior 3 position. Squaring off the hips. Both hips are parallel with the mat. Draw the kneecaps up, really activate the quads. Flex the right foot. Find your balance by looking at something still. And the hands can either be at the heart center, you can take them back, you could bring them up overhead. Just have a play around where you can find that balance. Micro bend the left knee. We're going to sweep the right leg all the way up towards the chest, so the right knee is coming up high. Micro bend the left knee, and then cross the right leg over the left thigh. So you're coming into that figure 4 stretch. If this is uncomfortable, then you can always come and lay down and find the same position with your legs, but on your back instead. So you can play around with your balance if you want to. Bring the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Again, find your drishti, find something still to look at to help you balance. See if you can sink into that left leg a little bit more. We'll hold it here for 5, 4, pull the shoulders away from the ears, 3, 2, and 1. Try not to put that right leg down. If you were laying down, come up to a standing position. We're going to start to peel that right knee up towards the chest. Extend the right foot back into your warrior 3 position. Micro bend the left knee. Drop the right toe tips down. Take an inhale. Lift up the hands. As you exhale, bring the hands to the hips and drop that right knee down onto the mat. So we've got our lizard stretch on the other side this time. So just start to make your stance a little bit wider. Shuffle that left foot forward, and then bring both hands onto the inside of that left leg. So both hands are coming down onto the mat. Shuffle the left foot across to the left, so it's coming all the way to the outside of the mat. And you can stay here, or if you want to intensify it, start to walk down onto the forearms. Again, you can use books or pillows or anything to give yourself another layer to rest on. Another option is to tuck the right toes under, lift the right leg off the mat. Make sure that you're squeezing your bum wherever you are. So try not to collapse, try not to sink into the hips. Keep everything really strong, but at the same time you're stretching, so it's an active stretch. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Don't let the head fall down. Keep looking out at the top of the mat to keep that nice length in the spine. Find that deep breath again. Big breaths in through the nose and back out through the nose. Take one last breath, so one last full inhale and one last full exhale. And we'll start to make our way out of this pose. So shuffle the left foot back into the center. Both hands are now on the outside of that left leg. Press into the left foot and then bring yourself all the way up to the center. Tuck the right toes, place your hands onto your hips. Try and find your balance. As you press into that left foot, lift the right knee off the mat. Keep the left knee lifted. Keep the left knee bent. We're going to step the right foot to meet the left foot at the top of the mat into the chair position. So keep both knees bent. Inhale, lift up the hands. Find your chair pose. Belly button pulls back to the spine, tuck the sit bones under. Keep breathing here. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, come to a standing position, straighten the legs, bring the hands to the heart center. Take the legs slightly wider than your hips. So you've got quite a wide stance. The toes can either point out slightly or the toes just face forwards. We're going to go into a deep squat. So get that position that feels comfortable for you to squat down. Our hips are going to come below parallel. So the bum is going to come as close to the ground as you can. So take a big inhale, stand up nice and tall. As you exhale, squat down, bring your bum down towards the mat into the deepest squat that you can go into. So this is quite an intense position. If it hurts or if it's really uncomfortable, you can always stay up a little bit higher. This is going to get into the thighs though. If you want another option, if you've got any big books or a blanket or a pillow, place that underneath your sit bones and just come and sit on a brick or a block. So if you're in this malasana squat, the hands can either find a fist position, press the hands together, or bring the hands together at the heart center and try and press the thumb back towards the sternum. The elbows are guiding the knees out towards the side. Keep lifting up the chest. Check what's happening with your feet. So don't let the feet pronate in. Keep pushing out onto the outside edges of the feet. So you're trying to lift the inner arches up. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2, bring the right fingertips down in front of the right thigh, right shin, and lift the left arm up. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands back to the center, and then we'll swap sides. So the left fingertips come down in front of that left shin. Reach the right arm up. Take one big inhale here. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. We've got 2 options for this next one. First option is to come straight into a butterfly stretch. So if you're coming into butterfly stretch, bring your bum down towards the mat, soles of the feet together, and drive your knees down towards the mat. Option 2, we're all going to come to this butterfly stretch eventually, but option 2, from your malasana squat, is to have a play around with crow position. If you've done crow with me before, then feel free to go straight into it. If not, then we're going to have some fun. So your hands are as wide as the shoulders. Micro bend the elbows, point the elbows back towards your knees. You're going to try and balance the knees on the back of the arms. So your bum wants to come up as high as you can, come up onto the tiptoes, place the knees onto the back of the arms, and then just have a play around at shifting your weight forwards and backwards. If you feel brave enough, then maybe you can start to lift up one foot, maybe you're lifting up the other foot. If you're feeling super brave, then maybe both feet can lift up. Try and draw the feet up towards your bum. Keep your gaze looking up, looking forward to stop yourself falling. Just have a play around. Don't worry if it's just not happening. And whenever you're done playing, we'll all meet in this butterfly stretch. So for the butterfly stretch, if your knees are quite high, just walk the feet out a little bit further, and that'll allow your knees to drop down to the mat a little bit more. If it feels fine, then try and get your feet as close towards your groin as you can. So your options are to hold onto the feet if you can, hold onto the shins, hold onto the knees, wherever feels comfortable for you. If you've got hold of the feet, try and turn the backs of the feet down towards the mat. So you try to lift the soles of the feet upwards. Keep pressing the knees down towards the mat. With an inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, just start to fold forwards over the feet. Try and keep that length in the spine. So try not to let the spine round. Keep lifting up through the chest. Fold forwards over the feet. If your elbows are quite close to your knees, avoid the temptation of using your elbows to drive the knees down. Try and use the strength of the legs to push the knees down towards the mat. We'll stay here for another 3 breaths. So big inhales in through the nose. And big exhales back out through the nose. Take one more full round of breath. And then make your way back to the center. Place your hands underneath the legs. Use the hands to guide the knees up to the chest, and then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So try and move slowly. Bring the soles of the feet out in front, the knees are bent. Hands come alongside the legs. We'll roll down one vertebrae at a time. So try not to dump all in one go. The lower back is the first thing to meet, and then the middle of the back, and then the chest, and then the shoulders, and then finally the head comes down towards the mat. Keep the knees where they are, bring the hands down by the side, just start to windmill the legs from left to right. So dropping the knees from one side to the other side. We've done quite a lot of hip mobilizing, squatting, so just move into those hips. Take this gentle movement from side to side. And then we'll all bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Start to rock from side to side. We're going to take a happy baby before we come into Shavasana. If there's any other movements that you want to take, any twisting, any handstands or headstands, then feel free to do that in your own time. If not, we'll come into a happy baby together. So the legs come out wide, the arms come on the inside of the legs, and then the hands catch hold of the outside of the feet. If you can't reach your feet, you can take hold of the ankles. You can also take hold of the shins or the calves, the fleshy part of the lower leg. So press the lower back into the mat and maybe start to move around. You can always stay still in this position if you want, or start to rock from side to side. Maybe straightening one leg, straightening the other leg, lifting one leg up, lifting the other leg up. I miss my Wednesday night crew laughing at this one. I miss Alison and her giggles. So from here, just start to move into your Shavasana. Grab any extra props, any blankets that you want to use for your Shavasana. We're going to stay here for about 3 minutes, so if you want to stay longer, you're more than welcome. Take the legs out long. If this hurts the lower back, then you can always bend the knees, place the soles of the feet flat onto the mat, and just let the knees collapse in towards each other. The hands can stay down by the side, or you can place the hands on the belly, on the chest, anywhere that feels comfortable for you. When you've found that comfortable position, take a big inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. We'll do 2 more just like that. Big inhale in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Last one, big inhale in through the nose. And exhale to sigh it out the mouth. And just start to let the body be heavy. Start to let the breath come back to its natural rhythm, so letting go of any breath control. The shoulders are heavy. The hands and the feet are just melting into the mat wherever they are. And just start to relax the face, so let your forehead soften. Soften your jaw. And just let your body melt into the mat. Finding stillness for this next couple of minutes. to wake up the body, making micro movements. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Take the legs out long if you have them bent. Take the arms up overhead. Take a long pencil stretch. Stretch the fingers, stretch the toes. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself one last hug. Making yourself into a little ball. Rocking from side to side. Slowly lowering onto either your left side or your right side. Coming into a fetal position. Using the bottom arm as a pillow. And from here, take your time to come up into a comfortable seated position. Either come in to sit on your knees, or you can come to sit on your cross legs. Keeping the eyes soft or closed. Draw the shoulders up to the ears, as high up to the ears as you can get them. And then send them all the way down and back. One more just like that. Bring the shoulders up to the ears. And send them all the way down and back. Bring the hands together at the heart center. Drop your chin down to your chest. Thank yourself for taking an hour out of your Wednesday evening to come and practice. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of Wednesday and a wonderful week. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you can enjoy the sunshine in gardens and windows because we're not allowed out. Thanks, guys.